Self-responsibility, a miracle cure. What often happens in interpersonal relationships is a shift in personal responsibility, which inevitably leads to problems. Self-responsibility shifts when we make someone else responsible for our own well-being, or when we feel responsible for someone else's. When we take responsibility for ourselves, we become free again, and in doing so, we free the other people involved as well. Children instinctively notice when someone in the family system relinquishes personal responsibility. They tend to unconsciously fill that void, sacrificing their own well-being out of love for the family. The thought that one must make decisions on behalf of their parents is presumptuous. For example, a child may try to fill the role of their mother's partner when they believe that their father, who is having an affair, is an insufficient partner. Being a better partner and thus assuming a role not meant for the child is harmful to them. The child can no longer be just a child, and their relationship with their mother and father becomes tainted. Trying to be one's mother's child and partner at the same time is in fact an impossible and unnatural endeavor. While the child attempts to protect the mother from the father, it has a bad conscience towards the father. The child loves both parents and, understandably, doesn't want to have to choose between them. In adulthood, such an assumed role of partner substitute can manifest itself in the inability to engage in fulfilling love relationships, since the person is unconsciously entangled with the parents and their history. In a constellation setting, the person may symbolically return this childhood responsibility to their parents, thus breaking any entanglement with them. The now adult child can understand that by assuming responsibility for their parents' relationship, they unconsciously place themselves between their parents and thus carried a heavy burden. This phenomenon shows the consequences of parents not taking responsibility for their own well-being in their relationship. Their children often come to the rescue, trying in vain to compensate for something they cannot reconcile. We protect our children and environments when we stand by our feelings and settle our conflicts with others. Recognizing and accepting when others take responsibility for themselves is just as important. It understandably does not feel right to assume responsibility for someone else. Even if well-intentioned, it reveals a lack of trust in the person's ability to master their own life. Believing that we know what is better for them is pretentious and has serious consequences. We take on the impossible task of solving another person's challenges when we can only ever resolve our own. Similarly, we cannot be sick on behalf of someone else or become healthy for them. We can, however, be there for them by listening and encouraging them to believe in their own healing. But recovery and healing can only take place within the person themselves. When we attempt to relieve someone of their challenges, we deprive them of the opportunity to find their own solutions and to learn their own lessons from them. This is seen in constellations, for example, when a granddaughter gives back her grandmother's unexpressed feelings that she carried on her behalf. The grandmother accepts gratefully with sentences of relief such as, "It belongs to me. I'll carry it gladly." And the other person may react with, "It's a heavy load off my mind. Now I can breathe again. I feel free." Feelings that were adopted earlier in life are thus returned to their original context and source. By consciously giving them back, we can help our ancestors reconcile and heal, in addition to ourselves. What we as children are unaware of and do out of love and the need to survive in a functioning family system, we can consciously avoid as adults by taking care of our own lives instead of the lives of others. If we want to help someone, we can believe in them and encourage them to do the same. It is very beneficial to continually remind ourselves that life gifts us challenges as opportunities for self-growth. Through unconditional self-acceptance, we can free ourselves from identification with scarcity and dependency. When we look our fear in the eye and let the tears flow freely, we take responsibility for ourselves and become whole. We become what we are. In our wholeness, we are complete. Nothing is missing.